He's a member of the House Homeland Security and Armed Services Committees. Congressman, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks very much for being here.
It's my pleasure.
What are your expectations for this upcoming hearing of Mayorkas' impeachment?
Well, I think that we'll hear from our witnesses that what's happening at the border is a crisis and it's a complete disaster. And then I expect that the Democrats on our committee is going to try to stall or try some legislative procedures in order to throw us off track. But I think that we're pretty laser focused on what we want to do. We want to hear the testimony. We want to give Mayorkas a fair shot. And then we need to move on. It's obvious that what's happening at the border is a crisis. It's a disaster. It's a disaster of Joe Biden and Alexander Mayorkas is making.
Perhaps, but look, Congressman, you talk about the Democrats. I'm wondering about the Republicans. The last time we had an effort to impeach Mayorkas, 8 Republicans voted against it. Are you united on this in the party?
No, I think we are. I think we want process. I mean, you just can't have an impeachment of an individual without giving him due process, and now we're giving him the due process that he deserves and every American deserves. And so we're going to have the hearings, going to hear the testimony, and then we're going to take a vote. And I'm pretty sure that the vote coming out of out of our committee is going to be, this gentleman needs to be impeached. But again, we need to give him a shot.
And then once it comes out of committee, then what happens?
It goes to the House. It goes to the House floor, hopefully, and then there'll be a vote on the impeachment of Alejandro Mayorkas. And so I believe that at the end he will be found guilty by us, and he will be impeached, and then this goes on to the Senate to see if actually they convict him of high crimes and misdemeanors. Look, I believe, and I've said it all along, that this is on purpose. They're violating the law every single day. Parole into the United States is supposed to be done on a case-by-case basis. Not supposed to have mass parole like the Biden administration and Mr. Mayorkas have done since the beginning of the administration. And so all of this is on purpose. It has been on purpose. They've been willfully violating the law from day one since Biden took office. And so, I think in the end, he'll be found guilty, and by the House anyway, and then move on to the Senate, where I doubt that he'll be convicted because, you need 2/3 there.
Well, that's right. I mean, it's just an extraordinary situation, what we're watching. I mean, we see people on the terrorist watch list getting apprehended. We see fentanyl killing American citizens. We see the number of Chinese nationals coming through the border up more than 1,000%. Why are they putting this country in such jeopardy?
That's a great question. I've been asking that question, and people, I know it's on purpose because we have the testimony of many Customs and Border Protection agents and higher-ups saying, hey, we've tell them exactly what they need to do in order to stop this, and they refuse to stop it. So why? Why are they doing this? I still haven't figured it out. Some people think that it's to create a permanent majority for the Democrat Party. I'm not sure because, more and more Hispanics are actually moving to the Republican Party. But there's some other reason why they're doing this. I haven't figured it out yet, but no matter what the reason, it's hurting America, it's hurting Americans, it needs to stop. But I believe that the only way that this is going to stop, Maria, is with the election of a new president of the United States. We're going to have to suffer through this for a little bit over a year of this policy and this mass migration into the United States and letting these millions of migrants into the United States, allowing the cartels to control the border, enriching the cartels, the same people that are killing tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of Americans every single year with fentanyl. And again, that's something else that this administration refuses to look into and stop.
Yeah,
we are killing Americans, and they're allowing it, and that has to stop. But we need a new president.
Absolutely extraordinary that we've got these drug cartels, these dangerous drug cartels, actually running the American southern border. Let me switch gears, ask you about what we're hearing out of the Pentagon, announcing that Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin was hospitalized because he was diagnosed with prostate cancer. President Biden first learned of the news yesterday, the same day as the public, and a month after the initial diagnosis. The House Armed Services Committee now launching a probe into Austin's hospital stay. He was in the ICU. Fox's Peter Doocy pressed the White House on whether they can be trusted at this point to tell the truth about President Biden after this was held back on Secretary of Defense. Watch this.
If the administration is going to go to such great lengths to keep secrets about the defense secretary's health, how can anybody be certain that the administration would not go to the same lengths to keep secret problems with President Biden's health in the future.
He's 81 years old. Wait a second. Just give me a second here, bub. I'll get there. If the administration made some sort of Machiavellian effort across the board to keep this from getting public, then I think your question has merit and certainly is a fair one. I don't think it's a fair one because that's not what happened here, Peter.
Congressman, should Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin step down?
Well, look, I think that certainly a lack of judgment on his part, and there is now a lack of trust here in Congress on his ability to lead the Defense Department. So I would say, yeah, that he needs to step down. I know it's a personal health issue, but he's just not any ordinary American. He is the Secretary of Defense. And we need to know when he is having issues so that we know that the Defense Department is being led in a competent way.
Yeah.
And right now, we don't have that feeling. You know, you go off and you're hospitalized. You don't tell anybody. You're the Secretary of Defense, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
And actually, you know, Peter's question was very valid. And again,
yeah.
Look, I've said all along, never listen to the Biden administration. Okay, you got to watch what they're doing,
right,
not what they're saying, because what they're doing is actually usually opposite to what they're saying.
Yeah.
You know, this administration, like its leader, is a pathological liar.
Well, unfortunately, the Iranian-backed Houthis have attacked our servicemen and women in the Middle East 128 times, 8 of which happened while Lloyd Austin was in the hospital. So I'm wondering who got the call. Who took the call when our troops were reaching out for help as they were getting attacked? Who took the call? Lloyd Austin wasn't there. He was in the hospital. His number 2 was out. I don't know if she was on vacation or had the flu. The story's changing. Congressman, we're zeroing in on that question this morning. It's good to see you. Thank you, sir. Carlos Gimenez.